Well, let's talk about this. Is the third question, and let's
Is it?
focus on a little bit of like the why of this. I mean, we've already kind of worked our way around it, but is what's happening principally in service to Vladimir Putin? Is it largely a result of Trump's obsession with loyalty, or how about this, creating the conditions for another coup with minimal pushback? I mean, this includes the question of election interference in the midterms and the possible exploitation of a terrorist attack to crack down on dissent.
Well, simply put, all three are correct. But they are all within an encompassing circle, right? So if we're talking that you have these three interlocking rings, all of which have one nexus, well, that nexus wouldn't be Donald Trump. That would be the sustainment of the Trump financial world. And that would be encompassed in one circle, Donald Trump's ego, right? So you have Russia. He doesn't believe in Russian ideology. He doesn't believe in Putinism. He doesn't believe in Dugin's neo-Eurasianism. He does believe in the tripolar world, which was pushed by Steve Bannon and Vladimir Dugin, and I'm sorry, Alexander Dugin. He believes in that because he was promised that Russia would take Europe, America would take the Western Hemisphere, and you could have the Monroe Doctrine, and China would get Asia. That's 3 buckets of money, right? And so in his world, that all-encompassing ego is actually Donald Trump's belief in the value of himself, which is all money belongs to Donald Trump. And now he is America. All of America's money belongs to Donald Trump. Fort Knox, as far as he's concerned, is his money. Spend $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Cut food stamps for every child in America and literally starve Americans. He doesn't give 2 flips about that. It's about Donald Trump. His relationship with Putin is admiration, but he doesn't work for Putin. He accepted Putin's, and I wrote about this in Plot to Destroy Democracy. Putin was engineering this takeover of the United States through lackeys, right? But what he didn't run into, what he didn't understand was, if there's a great book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and there's a character in there called Zaphod Beeblebrox, and he's this character has double heads in there, and he's hilarious. And there is a torture that they devise in that book, which is they take you and expose you to the entire awesome size of the universe and your actual dimensions in proportion to it. And it drives you mad and your head explodes, right? So they put Zaphod Beeblebrox into this device and they go, okay, that's the end of him, right? And then they open it up, the machine fizzles and blows up. Zaphod walks out and they say, "You're alive. What happened? Didn't you see the entire expanse of the universe and your size comparison to it?" And he says, "Yeah, it just shows I'm an awesome guy." That's Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Everything in this universe
orbits around him.
Orbits around, but in his mind, he is expanded beyond known universe. So Putin is actually doing things for him because Donald's awesome. And Donald's going to get things, and he's going to get access to that $2 trillion of Russian sanctioned money. Same thing with regards to the Constitution and laws. That's just a means to an end. He just wants the legitimacy of the crime he's going to commit, right? And then when he commits crimes, he just walks away from them. And that's what Haberman and Swan said. It's his own belief that none of this is wrong and it's all going to work out right, and he doesn't care, right? And the third component of that is, will he do horrible things to affect that? Well, I used to do a podcast with Michael Cohen, his former lawyer, and he said Donald Trump is actually a coward. He's a real coward. And when it comes down to things he has to have suffer consequences for, like that actually he can see people's lives, sentencing people to death or things like that, he doesn't want to know any of that. He doesn't care about 169 school children killed in Iran. He doesn't care about that. You know, the same way that Americans didn't care about the 290 civilians we killed when we shot down an Iranian airliner in 1988. I was there for that.
Yeah.
So I feel empathy. I feel terrible. I feel horrible. This man is Zaphod Beeblebrox in this box of the universe.
He does not.
He's just awesome. He's awesome. And
He's
everything he does is awesome. And that guides the pathology, the psychopathology in his head. The man controls 4,500 atomic bombs. The clearest way to mark himself in history is to exceed Harry Truman. And I kept thinking during the Iran war, when they kept saying, hey, we're going to go down, we're going to dig out those nuclear materials. Well, actually, the fastest way to get rid of the Iranian nuclear program is to land a special force there for a few hours, dig a borehole down in there, or use these GBU-52, deep penetrating bombs, create a borehole, and drop a 5-kiloton nuclear weapon down it. Boom, guaranteed. No Iranian nuclear program. Very minimalized fallout, but Donald Trump will be universally excoriated. But guys like Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth will say to him, you are now done something that no other president has done. Now, the other two guys, Harry Truman killed 200,000 Japanese in less than a tenth of a second, But to Trump, he wants to be Genghis Khan, he says. Yeah. He's told people that. Vaporizing Tehran.
You're anticipating events like that in the next 2 years.
First off, he has dementia.
Yeah.
It's clearly, okay, he sees his end coming, and I go to France every year for Bastille Day. I always stay at a hotel near the Arc de Triomphe. It's a beautiful symbol. I've been to France maybe 40 times, never been to the top of the Arc de Triomphe. Did you know there's a stairwell up there? Never been there because I see it. Okay, beautiful. That's it. I understand the history. I understand it's the purpose of it for the Grand Army of the Français, right? And it's a great place to march around. But I don't dwell on it as I need one of those in my backyard. He does. It was Bastille Day 2017 that put the zap on Donald Trump's head. Was it 2018? When he went to the Bastille Day and the French put him at the head of the parade. Here's a good example of how horrible a person he is. Not only that he wouldn't go to the cemetery. The French marked the U.S. arrival, in World War II, right? Lafayette, nous sommes arrivés, right? We've arrived. By having a color guard of U.S. Army soldiers lead the entirety of the French Army and French government in the Bastille parade, wearing World War I uniforms. And when I saw it, I was thrilled. Oh, it's just super thrilled. And here's the problem. They had 2 black soldiers in the color guard, right? 8 men in the color guard, 6 to 8 men in the color guard, and 2 black soldiers, which would have been about the proportions that my grandfather, who served in Saint-Nazaire, and my granduncle, who was in Saint-Mihiel, that they would have been in the army. Trump loved the pageantry of the parade, but he at no time acknowledged that the U.S. Army was leading the parade. He didn't even meet the soldiers.
Yeah, that was of no interest.